she told me that crazy thing. And I was like, I hate work. I hate working for anyone. I hate all of that. I'm going to change my life.
I'm very excited to have this special guest you are about to hear on the show today. He is my mentor who helps me bringing these shows comes to life. His name is Jonathan Rivera. Jonathan Rivera has been trained in direct response marketing by a group of legendary copywriters over the past decade. He used what they showed him to fill his rentals and live the 4-hour work week. With his newfound freedom, Jonathan has built a podcast network where he co hosts 5 shows with his top mentors. Jonathan is an accomplished entrepreneur who can speak about building systems and creating marketing that works. One last fun fact: Jonathan is the only podcaster who publishes a paid print newsletter read in 6 countries and still counting.
Yeah.
Please welcome Jonathan. I'm so excited to have
Thank
you
you.
on.
Wow. I didn't realize I was going to get the full royal treatment here. Thank you for having me on the show, Neri.
Of course, you've got to have a full treatment.
Thank you.
So we're gonna dive deep into the paradise within.
All right.
I would like you to share one of your stories that during the most difficult time in your life and how you handle the situation, if you please.
Okay. And I think I want to make sure I'm on the right track, but you want me to reveal a deep, dark part of myself, right?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah,
Okay.
let's jump into it. So, really, before I was an entrepreneur, I was a blue collar worker. I was an electrician working in the hot Florida sun, 7:30 or 7 o'clock to 3:30,
Mhm.
and I hated my job. It was the worst thing in the world. And the only reason I did it was because my parents told me when I was in high school that I really needed to get a trade to
Mhm.
have something to fall back on just in case
Mhm.
I needed it. And so that language alone tells you that my parents are a little bit twisted because they say something to fall back on. And my beliefs today are totally different. I believe in falling forward, but that's a whole other story. But the thing that we're talking about here and the thing that was the darkest moment in my life was after my mom passed away. And that was one of those life changing moments. I had never had anybody close to me pass away, and it was very difficult. And it's just I saw the life that my mom and dad lived. Now my dad's still around, thank goodness, and I get to hang out with him and everything. But I
I'm
saw the
so
life they lived, and I know that my mom wasn't fulfilled, and the way she went was very tough. But it inspired me to get the hell out of the electrical trade and do something bigger with my life because I knew I had bigger things that I needed to accomplish. And so her passing really was the bottom for me, so to speak. I've had other bottoms, but that was the lowest one that jolted me out of that whole complacent lifestyle and moved me into being an entrepreneur. So I would say that's really the changing point in my life from being a worker to being an entrepreneur and finding really headed on that path to the paradise within.
I'm very sorry to hear about your mom. I and how long ago was that, if you don't mind?
So let's see. If I think about it, it's about 13 years ago now.
Wow. I think it perhaps it's still fresh in your mind because my dad passed away almost 30, oh, actually over 30 years ago. And I still have that moment that miss him so much. Do you feel
Yeah.
the same way?
I went through many years of missing my mom and really more about suppressing how
Uh-huh.
much I missed her. And only in the last year or so have I finally let it go and accepted it. And I it's not as much that I miss her,
Uh-huh.
but I have good memories of her now.
Mhm.
I feel like I have moved forward and she would be proud of me now.
Oh, wow. Now, what was your feelings like when you were going through her situation that you saw her? You said she went through a very difficult time.
All right. So this
Over.
is something I've never shared actually in
Mhm.
public, but my mom committed suicide. And
Oh.
so it was really disturbing. And it was shocking just because 3 nights before that, it was Father's Day and we were all having dinner around the table and it was so nice. And then next thing I know, this is happening. And the thing that screwed me up for a while was that I asked her because she could still talk just a little bit when I got to the hospital. And I asked her, Mom, what the hell? What are you doing? What's going on? And the stupidest comment, oh man. Hang on a second. All right. So she's work's been so stressful. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Works
wow.
what the hell? What does that have to do with anything? That screwed me up, but I think in a good way because it just made me not accept work anymore.
Wow. I am speechless. And when you say deep, I did not know this is deep.
Hey, from
And
within. From deep
yes,
within.
yes, I'm having a lot of thoughts going through my head right now. Was there any signs that were kind of she was giving you hint that she
We
wasn't a happy person, that she was ready to go, anything at all, some kind of clue?
we went through many years of that, and that was part of the thing of coming to this acceptance now 13 years later. But of course we thought about that, and the weird part about my mom was, so let me just give you an idea. My mom was a generally happy person, smiled a lot. In fact, she used to, even though she had a full-time job, she used to volunteer to be a crossing guard to
Oh,
for the schools for elementary school kids, and her nickname, the parents nicknamed her the smiling lady.
oh,
And so it
wow.
was the strangest thing. None of us had any clue, and so I don't know how deep that went with her, and I stopped trying to even think about it because there's just nothing I could do to change where.
That is very true. And that is one of the reasons why I'm doing this show, because in this society, it seems like a lot of people are smiling outside, but deep down inside, there is a lot of crying.
Yeah.
So, how did you deal with her saying that she has to go? Was there a, while you were at the hospital, you said you get to talk with her. Did you get a chance to say what you had to say to her, or she has a chance to speak with you?
No, the only exchange that we had was I got to the hospital pretty quickly and they were wheeling her into one of these rooms or whatever. And the only dialogue I had with her before she went unconscious was, "Oh, work's been hard." And oh man, I couldn't accept that. And still makes me mad right now when I think about it. Work's been hard. That's just the most ridiculous statement. But that was all I ever had. That was the last words that my mom ever said to me.
Wow. Did she ever complain to you about how she did not like the people she worked with or her bosses or anything like that?
No, I don't. Normal workers think differently than entrepreneurs. So normal work complains like this person's stupid, that person's lazy, but never to this depth. I
Hmm.
think that was just BS, by the way. I think she was just trying to tell me something to not really tell me the truth. And it's just too bad that was the
Hmm.
last thing that she said to me because it really screwed with me. But the good part is, and I look at it this way, I look at it as a gift. And my mom
Hmm.
could still be here today and I could
Yes.
still be working construction and just
Yes.
going through the motions. But she told me that crazy thing. And I was like, I hate work. I hate working for anyone. I hate all of that. I'm going to change my life. So I look at it as
Hmm.
the last great lesson that my mom taught me.
Wow. In a way, I'm glad that you're doing what you love doing right now. In a way, it's sad for, I'm not saying just you, and for a lot of people, you take a major a hit in order to turn the lives around. And
Yeah.
some people wake up and some people don't. So, how would you describe yourself now? And if you were to have a chance to sit in front of your mom right now, what would that conversations look like?
Wow, that's an interesting thought about describing myself to my mom. Back then, to me, like that was, I was still a kid before that happened. And I had to become more of a man after that
Uh-huh.
and really take control of my life. So a lot of the major changes is just, I believe in personal growth. I believe in spiritual growth. I just believe in continually growing. And the way I handled a lot of that stuff was I got closer with dad, of course. We got more involved in church and I finished because I went to Catholic school as a kid. I did my communion, never finished my confirmation or any of that stuff. So I went back to church. I finished my confirmation. I found some peace in the word of God, which
Mhm.
might sound a little funny, especially coming from me since I don't talk about that so often or that side of me. But
This is the real Jonathan.
I told you were going to get an exclusive.
Thank you.
But I would say that really I dove into what is the path that I'm on now. And that's just creating a legacy, creating a life that I'm in control of. And so if I was sitting here with my mom, she might not recognize me because of how different I am, but she would recognize that was the potential I always had. So I don't know what exactly we would talk about. I think more of the conversation would be how good dad is doing and how happy we are and what good friends we are and how happy I am with my wife. But it would really have nothing to do with work accomplishments or any of that. But it would be about real, true happiness. Because here's the thing, like my mom was the smiling lady, yet she was sad
Mhm.
inside. I
Yes.
am the most grumpy, meanest looking, short talking dude when most of the time, but I'm genuinely happy.
Mhm. That is awesome. It's make a difference when you are happy within. Don't you agree?
Yeah, you have to find fulfillment. And I think that's the thing that's really helped me. I find that fulfillment in educating myself. I find the fulfillment in the work I do. The work that I'm doing today at the podcast factory, I know that I'm impacting thousands, maybe 10,000s of lives out there to be better entrepreneurs, better business people. I'm making a bigger impact in the world. And I think we've talked about it privately, but my wife and I are 2 years into the adoption process. We are going to have a little son. We just got matched last week, and I'm
Oh,
creating a
wow.
legacy for my
Con-
son. Thank you.
wow. Congratulations. What is your son's name?
Oh, he doesn't have a name. He
Oh,
has a name, but
oh,
we,
you
we
just
might
said a
rename
match.
him.
Okay. Sorry.
No worries. So I'm just making a bigger impact on the world through my work here. I'm more involved in the church. I've joined the Knights of Columbus, which is a charitable organization, and I'm more well rounded and more fulfilled than I've ever been before.
Well, first of all, congratulations to your adopted child that you're going to
Thanks.
be expecting. It sounds like a long time, 2 years and still going on.
Yeah, we just got matched. So we're in the home stretch now. It's about 4 months where we finish all the paperwork and we can pick him up and bring him home and start that phase of our lives.
Wow. Some exciting newcomers into the family.
Yeah, can't wait.
For if you were speaking or any one of your family members or friend listening to you right now, and if they were thinking about, I don't like to use this word because I did research and people who are thinking about committing suicide, they don't like the word committed because they have not committed yet.
Yeah.
If anyone listening right now, what would you say to him or her about taking their own lives?
That's an interesting question that I've never ever thought about. So I have to reframe here and just think about what is it worth it? What could there be? Like, I would just say that you have to try and reach to the people closest to you or reach to trusted people and talk to them and just get some outside perspective. Look, I don't think that there's anything worth doing that for. There's just I can't see it because there's just so much good in life. And so I look for the ways to calibrate life to really be appreciative of all the things. And what happens is there's a despair. So somebody who is thinking about that, somebody who feels that way, they must be in a deep, dark despair. And it's a very selfish thing because they have other people around them that care for them. And so I would really urge you to get with your closest friends and talk to them about how you're feeling, or get with someone you trust and talk to them and really get into finding a definition for your life. Because I feel like maybe that is one of the things you don't know what you're there for. You don't know if you matter. And the fact is, you matter, and start looking for just the little good in life. Like one of the things that I do near is the gratitude exercise morning and night. I just
That's
list
awesome.
off 3 things that I'm grateful for morning and night, and just doing something as little as that, no matter how bad your day is. Because I was doing this when I was dead broke and trying to build a business. And I
Mhm.
was like, everything sucks. But then I do the gratitude exercise and realize, hey, I got a nice wife. Hey, I got a refrigerator full of food. Hey, I had a good night of rest. All the little things, and they start compounding and multiplying. And I believe that will help you get out of it, but definitely get help. Whatever you do, get help and talk to someone.
That is so awesome. And I totally agree with practicing gratitude because I practice it all my life. And some of the stories that I share is in my book. You got to practice and find even the little things that you appreciate in life.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about leaving your legacy. Is there anything that will stop you from making your legacy happen?
The train has already left the station.
That is so awesome.
I'm already making the impact. And if you would have asked me maybe a year or two ago, I might not have
Uh,
known. But with my
mhm,
child coming, I've been working harder than ever with the
uh-huh.
people that I surround myself with. I already am making the impact and changing lives. And all I can do is more of that.
Yeah. But one last question. What is the one thing that you do to create the paradise within you?
I like that question. What do I do to
Thank you.
create the paradise within? So it's funny. I was looking through Facebook maybe yesterday or I don't know when it was, but there was a guy in there in one of these groups asking for help. And he's, oh, I really need to find work life balance. I always seem to work more and not have much time for my family. And I'm looking for balance. And the thing is, there's no such thing as work life balance. And I got this.
I totally agree, Jonathan. I think it's just a cliche or a fancy term, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. What you should strive for, and I got this from Michelle Spiva. She does the Epic Story Lifestyle Show, and I got this from her. She says, "Work life balance is BS. What you should be looking for is harmony, like you're making
Mhm,
music, because there is no balance. Balance is like a scale, but harmony, music, there's ups and downs and lefts and right. So
mhm.
I look for harmony in my life." Whether that's my physical being, whether that's learning, and whether that's being with family, I look for harmony.
Jonathan, thank you so much for sharing your darkest, deep story of your mom, Smiley Lady.
Yeah.
And wherever she is, I hope that she is in a comfort and the best place that she is in. And I'm pretty sure that she would tell you that you are an awesome son
Oh,
as of
thank
right
you.
now. And I'm sure she is so proud of you, of that you are touched so many lives with the story that you just share right now.
Thank you. I hope so. So thank you for having me on also.
Thank you for your time. If you love freedom, abundance, and harmony in your life, then join us on this transformational journey. Together, we'll explore how to experience more harmony blooms in other areas of your life.